And it's an honor to be here on behalf of Baylor University. I want to thank you for your hospitality. I want to thank you for welcoming my colleagues and me to your beautiful campus. And we come with a keen interest in partnership. And so I'll introduce Baylor University briefly and then pass the mic over to my colleagues to introduce themselves. Baylor University is the oldest continuing running university in the state of Texas. In fact, we are so old, not we at the table, but we as a university are so old that Baylor was founded before Texas became a part of the United States, when Texas was an independent republic. And so this is something that is very important to us. And the motto for the university has been, since 1845, pro ecclesia and pro texana, which means for the church and for the state. And this has been the motto for many years. And in 2024, our leadership, the president and the board of regents approved a new motto, which will be pro ecclesia, pro texana, pro mundo, which is now a formal invitation for us to be for the world, and I say with the world. And so this is an opportunity for us to engage in partnerships. We have several formal MOUs on our books, over 100. But more important than the MOUs, than the piece of paper, in my mind, are the relationships and the collaboration that can happen between universities. And so we come in that spirit to work together. We've already begun some collaborations with just a few institutions in Indonesia, and it would be a great privilege for us to work with Satya Christian University. We are unique at Baylor in that we are both a Christian university and a research university. There's a classification system in the United States that defines research universities by research expenditures, and the number of PhD programs, and the highest designation is called R1. And so Baylor is an R1 university, and we are Christian. We are consistently ranked in the top 100 US News and World Report best universities in the country. And I say that not as a form of bragging, but I say that to say that we have a commitment to knowledge, the pursuit of the construction and creation of knowledge through research, and we have a commitment to truth in the Christian sense. And doing both is something that is unique among American universities. There are many fantastic universities there, but to be able to do both is something unique and special. And I think, for me, this is something that aligns with the good work that you're doing here. As you were showing this video with the AI-assisted translation, I was just jotting down the areas of overlap that we have with our faculties. And so we too have business, faculties of business, engineering and computer science, education, music, public health, arts and sciences, social work, law, theology, psychology, mathematics, etc. And so there's a whole host of potential collaborations, several opportunities at the undergraduate and graduate level. And perhaps most importantly, we have an extraordinary faculty members who are some of the best researchers and teachers in the world. And so they too are part of the potential partnerships. And so I want to hand the mic down for my colleagues to introduce themselves, and then we'll be eager to get into the conversation.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. It's not often I get to skip Dickie, so I want to say it's finally it's a weekend or a week of finalies. I get to meet Takizak in person. We met virtually years ago, co-teaching a graduate seminar at ICRS, and so we've been in communication in every 2 or 3 months. It seems like I see a post by Takizak of publications and books that he's published, so I've been loosely following what's been going on here, at least through Takizak for the last few years, and very excited about this partnership. I come as the Associate Dean in the College of Arts and Sciences. And my particular role is strategic initiatives and special programs. So we have 25 departments, which would be faculties in the College of Arts and Sciences. And so we have languages, we have English, we have religion, and we have the social sciences. They fall under the College of Arts and Sciences, so psychology and sociology. And then we move into the sciences, anthropology, physics, biology, biochemistry, and a variety of other ones. I don't want to list them all. And so we, as Eddie has said, deep commitment to both global engagement in their fullest sense, but also a broad-ranging kind of scholarly engagement. And so one of the responsibilities I have in this position is the Director of Interdisciplinary Programs in Arts and Sciences. And so what we've done is we don't have a separate department for it. We have shared programs by departments. We don't want our faculty competing with one another. And one of these interdisciplinary programs is ethics. And so this is a part of the conversation which brought us to Indonesia and particularly here. And it's one of the things that brought us into conversation with ICRS and some of the kind of more global-facing events that we've been part of, from the World Living Forum and POP and some of these sort of global ethics forum. And so all that's to say is I'm thrilled to be here. I've been since Eddie started about a year ago. I've been telling him, Eddie, we need to go to Indonesia. Eddie, we need to go to Indonesia. And we're here, and it's great to meet you in person. I look forward to further conversation. And yes, I'm happy to pass off the mic to you.
Good morning, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's a blessing to be among you all. I wear many hats. So my first hat as a core doctoral faculty in the Indonesian Consortium for Religious Studies, which is a PhD program based in the Graduate School of University of Gajah Mada. So we work along with UKSW, China, and also Sunan Kalijodo. So we provide a PhD program, which is international, interdisciplinary, and interreligious. We produce around 65 PhDs from around the world, from around Indonesia. We've had students from the US, from Colombia, India, Singapore, Myanmar, Philippines, did I mention Korea? And many others. Mike Quinlan here is only one of our regular students from the US. We have been, of course, working with Isaac on a number of occasions, but we are also very much interested in any forms of research collaboration. We have a number of collaboration with a number of US-based institutions, including Baylor. We have an MOU, I think, signed in early 2019, and since then on, Paul and I have been working together in different places around the world, in Bologna, Italy, in Abu Dhabi, in Oxford. We have a yearly program at Christchurch, Oxford, where we teach religious scholars and lawyers on religion and rule of law, and we also work on urban issues within the framework of the World Urban Forum, which is hosted by UN Habitat. Aside from that, I'm also Vice President for Finance for Globethic, which is based in Geneva, Switzerland. And so it's a network of ethicists, and we provide services on things related to ethics, on curriculum development, on training. We have online courses for students, for faculty members, for professionals. We also have an online library, which comprises, I guess, 3.5 million curated works on all things related to ethics in English, in Portuguese, in Spanish, in French, in Arabic, in Bahasa Indonesia. So we welcome you to become a member of the Globethic network. We have around maybe 250,000 people who are part of the Globethic network, and I think Indonesia and India are perhaps the largest participants of our network, maybe numbering around maybe 24,000 participants. Apart from that, I consider myself as a Muslim Mennonite because I've been working with the Mennonite Central Committee committee as well for a number of years, and I just established one of the organizations here in Indonesia called the Yayasan Kemitraan Akademik dan Perdamaian. So we will also be rendering our services on peace building, and they are now supporting our program on religious literacy, which will run to a number of provinces. And this program has been started since 2017. Initially with the British Foreign Commonwealth Development Office and British Council, and now with the Mennonite Central Committee. I'm also part of the Aminah Fulbright Committee. I'm part of the what's called the Education Exchange Committee, the EEC Committee, and so all of the Fulbright applications from the US to Indonesia, from Indonesia to the US would obviously have to be endorsed by the EEC members. So we welcome you also to do that. But this is my second time to UKSW. I love Salatiga. It's very green, it's very cool, temperate climate, and people are so hospitable, generous. So I look forward to further collaboration with UKSW. Thank you very much. I'll give the mic to he was my previous student and now a colleague, a visiting professor at Gajah ICRS, and Samsul Asri also was my student and now the first PNS lecturer in ICRS as well. I mean, I would wish they would be carrying my bags, but they never carry my bags. Sometimes. I don't ask them to take pictures of my them. Yeah.
Selamat pagi semuanya, shalom.
Shalom.
So my S1 and my S2 are both from Baylor. My S3 is from UKM. And at the beginning of the pandemic, I had the privilege to be facilitated in my visiting professorship at ICRS through Baylor. And so this trip, this opportunity is kind of seeing both of my loves come to one space for collaboration and partnership, Indonesia and Baylor. I have a great fondness for Salatiga. I honeymooned here. And I almost did my S2 at UKSW. But unfortunately, the honeymoon was very productive. My wife got pregnant and I had to go back to the US. So thank you for allowing us to be here today.
That's good.
Thank you. My name is Samsul Asri. Please call me Asri. As Paliki said, I am still a student actually. Not only is calling now, but still a student. And I also a student of Magesa. So in my tradition, once we are taught by someone, we always be their student. So thank you for teaching me back in the days Magesa. And this is my first time coming to Salatiga. I only know it in pamphlet that this is the truly interreligious city of Indonesia, but seeing it with my eyes, it's true. Thank you for maintaining this interreligious harmony, interreligious cooperation, coexistence. Indonesia owe you very much. Thank you very much.
We are supporting Abrahamic Accord.
To direct this discussion of exploring cooperation, we invite Reverend Isaklatu PhD as moderator.
Thank you, Dylan. So thank you, everybody. We would like to go to the details probably. We have the partners here that can also share their willingness for future collaboration. I think, as maybe you already mentioned about like potential collaboration between Satya and University in Baylor, but also with global ethics, because we have Vice President of Global Ethics here as well. So yeah, please, we'll start the conversation first, and then we'll start.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ishak. Actually, we don't have anything particular yet, but I would like just to say what we are doing so far in relation with our program here. We have several collaborations with our friends in Sydney University, Australia, and from France. But as I mentioned before, our focus really on understanding development from multidisciplinary approach, since it's very complex. We think that to understand development, we really have to see from all aspects, and we try to blend or to help our students that doing their doctorate or master's program using approaches from all fields of discipline, even though they can focus on their own background, discipline background. But then we'll try to introduce in our curriculum how to see development as a whole. But I'm really interested in the topic of ethics. We are talking more in our classes about rethinking development, which ethics will be the major point of discussion. Manipulation of big, huge, multinational corporations, even international agencies. We should start rethinking of the approach. Even our development theories, we start to question them. We have studied it, we just take it for granted, all these volumes of journals and books. Now we start questioning them, whether they're genuinely talking about development or something is hiding there, a strategy is hiding there. So we would like to have more discussion on that, just an understanding about development. Yeah, actually, I think our friends, our colleagues from the US, from the western part of the world, would probably will learn more from our side. We have done for the last 5 or 6 decades, going to get our master's and PhD degrees there. I think it's about time to switch the balance, make the balance by our colleagues and friends and students from the US, from the western part, to understand this side. And then probably we can have a good discussion, whether it's in just a short-term project, a research, or even a student exchange or professor exchange. Then we'll have some understanding. We really see that there's in development there is a problem of conceptualizing theoretical aspects, let alone the practices that based on this understanding of what is development. So anyway, I don't know if I'm making myself clear, but those are the areas that we're talking about. And right now we have about we already about 105 or 10 doctors that graduated from our doctorate program, and they are all over the country in all field of services in Indonesia, and some of them even go abroad. But I think there's possibilities to at least we sit in a seminar. That's the minimum we can do. But better yet, if we have some collaboration in research or even teaching. I think teaching probably is the base, a good base for understanding. And we would like really to focus on ethics. Isaac would see ethics as the domain of the theology, but ethics problems in development is so huge, so big. Economics itself is unlimited topic to be deep into, and a lot of big questions there. Thank you, Jose.
Thank you, Prof. Dan. So we have, I think, very interesting program between the Satyawacana program with Sorbonne University and University of Sydney. So Sorbonne and University of Sydney send their student here for research in Indonesia. So Sorbonne will come, I think this is on something on human origins. So last night we talked about possibilities like sending our students for research and then also professors. We did that. We are doing that with Sorbonne and then University of Sydney, and we probably can do that also with Baylor. So I think this is something that we can start with research groups. And they have also, I think they have also, if they have, in the past at least, they have a course on ethics and development. So I remember Professor Globethic for the class, yeah. So ethics and development, this is also linked to environmental systems. So we will continue. Thank you. This is another, he is actually my undergraduate advisor.
Okay, thank you, Ken. I agree with Professor Cameo. Just mentioned about a minimum that we can do, which is a seminar perhaps. So maybe the School of Law of Baylor and also Gajah Mada and our School of Law maybe will look for sometimes in the very near future to organize a seminar, perhaps online or maybe both hybrid seminar. That's the first point from my dean, I think. And also, it is also possible to do some sort of student exchange. We need this kind of program because our rector emphasizing the need for us to internationalize our university. So this is, I think this is the opportunity to, this is the way, the medium for us to enhance this cooperation. And also perhaps a visiting professor. If you have a vacation, we maybe 3 or 4 years ago we have a visiting professor from Syracuse University. So he came here and teach for 1 year, I think. So I think this is also one way of we doing the cooperation. And it is also interesting, the last one is also interesting to note from a professor from Gajah Mada, Globethic. You mentioned about the rule of law. I think this is ethical aspect in the law that we need to think seriously. And also maybe making a sort of research, joint research, maybe between Gajah Mada, Baylor University, between Faculty of Law and Faculty of Theology, considering this ethical aspect, the rule of law. I think this is quite a global issue about ethics, the rule of law. So I think that's all from the Faculty of Law, Professor Professor Isaac. Thank you.
Thank you, Major. This is another Professor Cameo. So they are but your cousin, I think. So this is important, Kerja, because we are discussing about possibility for having like university ethics networks under Globethic is involving Baylor University, Satya University, and within Satya we were thinking about departments that can also be part of the initiative. So like development studies can be there, and also law, and also psychology, educations. We have a medical faculty as well, and this is I will need to during the seminar. So we have departments that can really helpful and possible. Yeah, okay. So music. Last night we talked about music, and I mentioned him as ethnomusicologist. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Yayasan. Actually, I didn't know there's one big name in church music at Baylor University, Dr. Monique Engels. Yeah, so send my greetings to her. And I think something that more realistic to do, I think within a very, like a short period, I think like online seminar that we can do both into institutions and then maybe visiting. Actually, it's teaching but done online. I think it's more realistic to do. And then also, if I can be connected to Dr. Monica Mills, I will be very happy. Yeah, she is, I think, one of the biggest figure in church music. I think that's all. Yeah. So we hopefully we can have a further discussion about this.
Yeah. Last night, Eddie mentioned about what Baylor wants and what we can help. The mission is like listen to the voice from the global south. So this is really important. Like joint publication probably. Last night, Eddie and also Paul mentioned about church music, and I think it is very possible to have like joint publication, research publication between Baylor and Satya. And I and Paul, we did some joint classes to teach a class. In the end, that also inspired me to have the same class with Boston University, and we did that last semester. So it's very possible for having like joint class, shared class between Baylor and Satya as well, as we have good facilities here, and we also can how we can copy our program to other department. Okay, as we have only 5 minutes left, somebody will say something before probably we'll close. Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. Eddie, would you please respond? Yeah.
It's very interesting to see the overlap of the conversation last night and the overlap today, which is an indication that we're on a very similar page. This is also something that I'll be mentioning in my talk later this afternoon, that we need to do a better job in the West of listening. And so many of the topics and ideas that we've discussed have been, in my mind, easy to do. To teach, to co-teach, that happens at the classroom level. And so when we go back, we'll share with Professor Ingalls and others the tremendous opportunity to teach. And so the classroom connections that we can have, the opportunities for COIL, collaborative online, international learning, that we can start relatively quickly. Coordinating seminars, conferences, that too is possible. And the opportunity for exchange of students, graduate level, undergraduate level, that may take some more time, but that is also very accessible. So I think everything that has been mentioned here through today, we began discussing last night, and indeed, these are things that I feel are very possible. I'm very fortunate in the sense that I have a central position as the senior international officer, or the person who is able to oversee the partnerships. I can share with the provost and the president that these are worthy partnerships, which I'll do when I return. But really empowering the faculty to make these connections is where I'm very blessed to have the faculty here. So I'll just close before I hand it over to the Vice Rector with a proverb that may or may not be apocryphal, often attributed to the African continent, that says, if you want to go fast, you go alone, and if you want to go far, you go in community. And so I feel that the paperwork to sign an MOU is the first step, but as we work together, I hope that we can build this relationship for a long-lasting partnership.
Okay, so thank you for the short discussion. We have a very limited time, but let me mention again about partnership, especially for student exchange, because we have a specific measure for that. So we are particularly really want to establish the inbound and outbound student exchange. This student exchange not only limited to sending our student for some period of time from Satya Wacana to Baylor University or another way around, but also involving in online learning together. If we can establish course both in Baylor and in Satya Wacana, we are ready to join students and get the credit point for that as a part of requirement for graduation. We have 144 credits to finalize undergraduate program. I don't know the measure of credit point in US, but we can find a way to convert. We also have the tools for that kind of recognition. In this case, we know that sending students from here to there will also involve financial issues, but it can be discussed. In our experience sending students with the university in Netherlands and in Japan, we provide a cost for our students to stay there, and also our partner provide their own cost to stay in Indonesia. But how much the cost for like a tuition fees for both partner will be then decided later. It can be discussed later. So this is one of the priority program. We need to increase student exposure for international community, both sending them there or working with a foreign student in Satya Wacana. I think that's the one I just want to mention this time. I think the rest will be continuing doing the seminar, right? And hopefully, Satya Wacana, let's take opportunity for this meeting to really establish this partnership with Baylor University and also Globethic and ICRS, which is already established before. Thank you. Thank you for the discussion.
Thank you to Reverend Isaac for moderating the discussion. I hope that it will be fruitful for our future partnership between Satya Wacana Christian University, Baylor University, Globethic, and Yayasan Etika Dharma, Madani. Next, we will do the signing of meeting report.
Just meeting.